What interests me right now about photography is how my environment affects the shots that I take and how I take the photographs. And also how my own personal environment affects how I take photographs as well. So I shoot mostly in Fernwood and downtown, and the photographs that I take downtown tend to be very colorful and electric and more abstract because the environment inspires that in me. Whereas when I'm taking photographs in Fernwood, it's usually a slow walk, sometimes listening to music, but the shots are more carefully composed, much less abstract, I think because I feel more connected to the neighborhood, and also because the subject matter is organic and softer, not concrete and light and shadow, but shrubs and leaves, flowers or whatever it happens to be. And it's a really important question to me to answer for myself, which is why I take photos, because I find that at the same time that the place where I'm at affects how I take photographs, and of course the subject matter that's in that environment, but also taking these photos helps me to answer questions about myself because they reflect my own personal and mental environment. Another thing that is important to me is that the environment that I'm showing the photographs suits the photographs that I've taken. And I knew that for this show, because I was showing with two other photographers, that I'd have limited space, and I had to pick a limited number of photographs. And these are ones that I took when I was downtown. They're more abstract in presentation. They present, I like it when a photograph presents the viewer with a question and isn't necessarily an explication of a particular object. And I found that the colors and textures, subject matter and tone fit together well and suited the space that I was showing in, as well as, which includes the other photographers that are showing. The subject matter and presentation fits, but is apart from the photographs that Kade and Eli chose to show.
Alright, so my interest in photography, I think, developed out of seeing my father document our family life growing up. There was always a camera present. He always had his Minolta SLR handy on all of our vacations, any special events, any birthday parties, and I think that seeped into my teenage years. I took a photography course in high school. It kind of ignited that passion in me to just be looking all the time and kind of in frames around me. And I continued with SLR cameras, always using film, for probably another 5-6 years until I found toy cameras. I stumbled upon a toy camera at a store in Victoria in Market Square, and once I played around with it, got back some of the medium format film, which is big square format, I fell in love with it immediately, and it delivered the aesthetics that I was seeking. The kind of dreamy, soft focus, the vignetting around the corners, light leaks coming into these cheap plastic cameras, where every roll that you get back is a complete surprise. And so this show provided me with an opportunity to show a selection of some street shots, some landscapes of places that I love, and also in the window I placed 4 of my favorite shots of people I wanted to have a mix of the two. I carry my cameras around. I always have 2 or 3 or 4 cameras in my bag, and use them as a visual diary. And so I'm always shooting my friends and the people around me that inspire me, and all the places that I'm walking to in our city.
Kade should be sitting next to me now, but she's in Toronto. So I'll say a few words in her absence. To me, Kade is an incredibly naturally gifted photographer. She has a compassion for her subject matter that is clearly evident to me in the photographs that she takes. The colors and framing and the moment with which she takes her photographs captures that feeling that she has for her subject matter in a way that is very difficult to express in an instant of time. And I am very excited to see how she uses the enthusiasm that and encouragement that she got from this show over the next years in her photographic development. I just can't wait to see what she does. I met Mikhail 2 years ago when my friend Nick Robbins and I were helping to run the 50/50 Art Gallery. He came from Calgary with 2 of his friends to do an installation show there, and he ended up moving to Victoria and became the minister. Eli and I are roommates, and one night we ran into Mikhail, and I heard that he was the minister of this space, and so I asked him, Kyle, are you looking for a show? Because I've got one for you. I knew Kade and I really admired her work, and Eli and I had just become roommates, and I admired his work as well. And despite all of the differences in the ways and type of photography that we shoot, I felt there was a strong common thread that would bind the show together. And Mikhail was accommodating and casual. He allowed us to make the show in whatever way that it turned out to be. And if it wasn't for him facilitating the show that we wanted to produce, it could have come out completely differently in a way that might have not shown the natural thread that runs between all of our work in photography.
The day of the show, when we were preparing, we were all preparing separately and in tandem. I think we were all filled with excitement and stress. We were all nervous, wondering how many people were going to come to the opening, running around getting a keg of beer, trying to get our frames down to the gallery, but it all came together. In the last 2 hours before we were going to be opening and people were starting to arrive, we were frantically passing hammers and screwdrivers back and forth, climbing up ladders, helping each other, getting mad at each other a little bit, figuring out the space and how it was all going to kind of work together. And it all did. All that energy turned from kind of stress and anxiety I think at least for me, I can speak for myself, into an amazing event where all of our friends and some family came to support us and encourage us in our art. And we had a great party. People were here for hours, and I think a lot more than we expected. This gallery is not right downtown, it's a little bit out of the way, and it was really amazing to see such a good turnout. Encouraging is the big word for me to take out of this. And Jordan and I, in the house that we live in, would like to mount a show in the next month or so to encourage and pass that back to our friends, the community of artists that we're a part of, and to have a venue for all of them to show their stuff to us and to each other, and to have a party, to dance, listen to music, and celebrate each other and what we're all doing in different ways.